Okay, let's truly unpack this. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a topic that, well, it resonates universally. The profound impact of kindness and how it fundamentally shapes a life of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Our listener specifically asked us to explore these vital themes, especially the powerful idea of measuring our lives not just by our career achievements, or the accolades we collect, but by the tangible acts of kindness we extend to the world.
Yeah, that's a really interesting frame.
And while we don't have the specific text of George Saunders' memorable speech, congratulations, by the way, our mission today is to explore the ideas behind such a powerful message. We'll be drawing insights from this rich tapestry of sources you've provided, a collection that spans, well, everything from ancient philosophical wisdom to highly practical modern self-help and leadership principles.
Indeed, our mission is to meticulously extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this truly diverse stack of articles, research, and personal reflections. What becomes clear as we delve into these materials is how the wisdom on kindness, self-improvement, and living a purposeful life echoes through various traditions. It's a testament to its timeless relevance, really.
Absolutely.
We'll be connecting the dots between these distinct perspectives, weaving them together to help you understand what's truly at the core of a life well lived, a life rich in meaning and positive impact.
And it's not just about feel-good sentiments, is it?
Not at all. This is about robust, practical wisdom for navigating the complexities of human interaction, fostering genuine connection, and developing ourselves in ways that profoundly benefit both us and those around us.
Absolutely. And to kick things off, let's get straight to what many of our sources suggest is perhaps the most foundational rule for living a truly good life. We often hear calls for kindness, of course, but few express it with the raw directness and sort of philosophical weight that we find in some of our provided sources.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Vonnegut, for instance, offers a remarkably blunt yet profoundly simple distillation of life's essential rule.
Oh yeah, Vonnegut.
In his collection, If This Isn't Nice, he states it with almost a shrug of, resigned wisdom, but with absolute conviction. There's only one rule I know of. God damn it, you've got to be kind.
Wow. Just like that.
It's stark, isn't it? No equivocation, no complex philosophical treatise, just a direct, almost guttural imperative.
Yeah, it cuts right through.
It's as if, after all the convoluted debates about morality, he's just saying, look, this is the bottom line.
And what's truly striking about Vonnegut's declaration is that it's far from a casual remark. He lends it an almost singular revolutionary power by linking it to what he considered one of humanity's greatest ideas.
Also.
Well, he goes further, sharing his profound admiration for Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, noting in his Palm Sunday talk that being merciful, it seems to me, is the only good idea we have had so far.
The only good idea. That's strong.
It is. He continues, perhaps we will get another good idea by and by, and then we will have two good ideas. Now, this isn't an endorsement based on religious doctrine necessarily, as much as it is an acknowledgement of the sheer transformative power of mercy as a human concept.
So he's elevating mercy itself.
Exactly. Think about that for a moment. Of all the grand ideas humanity has conceived throughout history, democracy, science, art, justice, Vonnegut, suggests that the concept of mercy, of active compassion, stands out as truly exceptional, fundamentally good, and perhaps even singular in its value.
Yes, quite a claim.
It implies that at our very best as a species, this is the most noble and beneficial idea we've managed to bring into the world. It's profound.
And what's so compelling is that this isn't just a modern sentiment, right? You mentioned ancient wisdom.
It's absolutely not just modern.
If we trace these threads back into the foundational texts of classical education, we find similar calls for an ethical core. Quintilian, for example.
The Roman rhetorician.
Right, who wrote Institutio Oratoria, essentially a guide for aspiring orators, didn't just focus on speaking eloquently or crafting persuasive arguments.
No, it was more than that.
He emphasized that for an orator, it is even more important that they should study what is morally excellent.
Morally excellent. That's key.
This goes far beyond mere technique. Quintilian argued that an orator couldn't truly be effective, believable, or trustworthy without an unshakable moral character.
So character was the foundation.
Precisely. That character was the very foundation for all actions, including public speaking and leadership. In his view, to move people, you first had to be a person worthy of trust, and that meant embodying moral excellence.
It really underscores that kindness and moral integrity aren't just pleasantries or optional extras. They're integral to effective engagement with the world and indeed to true leadership.
Yeah, it's a testament to the idea that who you are profoundly impacts what you do.
It's truly compelling to observe how this foundational emphasis on kindness or mercy resurfaces in such diverse contexts, even when its nature is, well, debated or approached with a critically nuanced eye.
Like in Tara Grove's collection.
Exactly. Tara Grove's collection of speeches, The World is Waiting for You, for instance, offers a perspective that challenges our often simplistic understanding of empathy itself, suggesting it might not always be the straightforward solution we imagine.
Okay, how so?
Well, the editor's note within the collection discusses empathy as an unstable emotion akin to pity or compassion.
Unstable.
Yeah, unstable, and they describe it as innumerate, meaning it struggles to scale effectively. We can empathize deeply with one person's suffering, but that feeling often dissipates when we consider the suffering of thousands or millions.
That makes sense. The scale problem.
Right. And the essayist in the source argues, our best hope for the future is not to get people to think of all humanity as family. That's impossible.
Ooh, controversial maybe.
Perhaps, but listen to the alternative. It lies instead in an appreciation of the fact that even if we don't empathize with distant strangers, their lives have the same value of the lives of those we love.
Ah, okay. So it's about inherent value, not necessarily felt emotion.
Precisely. This is a crucial, profound distinction. It moves us beyond relying on fleeting emotional connection to recognize the inherent, unconditional value in all lives, regardless of whether we feel an emotional bond with distant strangers.
It's about a reasoned, ethical stance rather than a purely emotional one.
Exactly. It's a more durable foundation, perhaps.
That's a powerful point, pushing us beyond mere sentimentality and into the realm of deeper, more sustainable ethical frameworks.
It raises the critical question of how we transform these often unstable, fleeting feelings into sustained, impactful actions, particularly when dealing with large-scale issues.
Precisely. The same source asks that very question. But can unstable emotions like empathy and compassion be transformed into something more enduring?
Well, it asks, can a spark of empathy, once ignited, however briefly, however tenuously, lead to reasoned decisions and to compassionate policies that might transform our world into one in which there are fewer tragedies or less brutal echoes of them?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Moving from spark to structure.
It really is. It encourages crucial critical thinking about the application and sustainability of kindness. It's not enough to simply feel compassionate. We must consider how to translate that feeling into something concrete, systematic, and lasting that addresses injustice and suffering on a broader scale.
And you mentioned this isn't a new challenge. Aristotle.
Right. This challenge of translating raw emotion into considered ethical action isn't new at all. We can also ground this discussion in ancient philosophy, noting that Aristotle also explored the role of these powerful emotions in rhetoric and character.
In his rhetoric.
Yes.
So.
In his rhetoric, pity and righteous indignation are presented as marks of good character.
Righteous indignation.
Yeah. What Aristotle is essentially arguing is that a truly virtuous character isn't just about controlling your emotions, but about having the right emotional responses to justice and injustice.
So feeling the right way.
Kind of. He states that one ought to share the grief of those who fare badly without deserving it and pity them.
Okay, that sounds like empathy.
And be indignant at those who fare well without deserving it, because it is unjust for something to happen contrary to what is deserved.
Ah, so indignation at unfairness is also part of good character.
Exactly. This is not merely about emotional expression. It's about cultivating a balanced, virtuous character that feels correctly in the face of what is right and wrong. It's a call to a moral sensibility that feels appropriate empathy for the undeserving and a righteous anger when people benefit unfairly.
So these aren't just random feelings. They are core indicators of a moral sound individual.
Precisely. Intrinsically linked to fairness, justice, and ultimately kindness.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Because Austin, the deepest understanding of kindness comes from reflecting on its absence. The sting of unkindness, or our profound regrets.
The contrast.
Dale Carnegie provides a particularly poignant example of this personal reckoning in How to Win Friends and Influence People. He shares this powerful anecdote of a father's deep realization after he had harshly criticized his young son.
Oh, I remember this one. It's quite moving.
It really is. The father, a man who, like many of us, probably saw himself as a good parent, was confronted with a profound, almost sickening realization. He saw how the habit of finding fault, of reprimanding, had become his default interaction.
Just the habit itself took over.
Exactly. It wasn't that he didn't love his son. It was that he was measuring a child's natural exuberance and occasional mistakes by the harsh adult yardstick of his own years.
That phrase, the yardstick of my own years, is so telling.
Isn't it? Imagine the scene. The quiet house, the child asleep, and this father, suddenly acutely aware of the emotional distance he had inadvertently created.
The weight of that realization.
He describes this chilling fear, this profound regret, knowing that his habitual criticism had become his child's reward for simply being a boy. He goes to his son's bedside, a place that should have been filled with warmth and connection, and instead kneels there in shame, recognizing the vast, untarnished goodness in his child's little heart, as big as the dawn itself over the wide hills.
Such beautiful yet heartbreaking imagery.
It is. This wasn't just a fleeting feeling. It was a deep, painful acknowledgement of how his actions had fallen so far short of his true feelings and intentions. He realized the very patterns he'd unconsciously built were eroding the most precious relationships in his life.
It's a devastating moment.
And it forces us to ask, what habits are we building, perhaps unconsciously, that might be slowly eroding our own connections, our own capacity for kindness?
That powerful story of personal regret raises an important question for all of us. How do these patterns of behavior, these habits that lead to unkindness, take hold in the first place? And more importantly, how can we consciously change them to foster more kindness and compassion?
Right. How do they form, and how do we break them?
Well, Zig Ziglar, in See You at the Top, offers a compelling insight here by connecting our internal self-perception to our external actions.
Self-image.
Exactly. He explains that a poor self-image can manifest in senseless and erratic action. People with a poor self-image might, for instance, make impossible commitments due to an underlying fear of rejection, a desperate need to please.
Overcompensating out of fear.
Precisely. And this often leads to resentment if they feel unappreciated when they inevitably fail to deliver, or if others don't recognize their efforts.
So the unkindness or unreliability is actually rooted in insecurity.
It can be. It highlights how deep internal struggles, a lack of self-worth, a fear of not being enough, can lead to external behaviors that appear as unkindness, unreliability, or simply a lack of grace in interactions. Their actions are a defense mechanism, not a true reflection of their best selves.
Okay, that makes sense.
Conversely, Ziglar notes that a good self-image allows one to act decisively and yet not feel threatened when he is either mistaken, challenged, or has to ask for help on specific matters.
So security allows for better interaction.
Exactly. When you're secure in yourself, you can engage in healthier, kinder, and more authentic interactions because your ego isn't constantly on the defensive.
So it's not just about what we do, but profoundly about how we see ourselves that dictates our ability to be truly kind and consistent with others. This internal landscape directly translates into our outward interactions.
Exactly. And to understand how these patterns, whether positive or negative, become so deeply entrenched, we can look to Orison Swett Marden, who is powerfully quoted in Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within.
What does Marden say?
He uses a vivid metaphor that truly resonates. The beginning of a habit is like an invisible thread.
An invisible thread.
But every time we repeat the act, we strengthen the strand, add to it another filament until it becomes a great cable and binds us irrevocably, thought and act.
Wow. A great cable. That's a powerful image.
Isn't it? Think about that. Initially, an unkind word, a critical thought, or a dismissive gesture might feel insignificant, like a single, almost imperceptible thread.
Barely noticeable.
But each time we repeat that behavior, consciously or unconsciously, we're adding another filament, another strand, weaving it into a thicker, stronger cord. Over time, that thread becomes a rope, then a great cable, until it feels almost impossible to break.
Like the father in Carnegie's story, bound by that cable of fault-finding.
Exactly. A habit so ingrained it overshadowed his love.
That's such a stark image, being bound by our own habits, by these cables we've unknowingly woven. But it also suggests a path to freedom, doesn't it? If we can build these habits, we can also dismantle them.
That's the hope, yes.
How do we break those deeply rooted cables, especially the ones that lead to unkindness or regret?
Well, Robbins offers a practical and tangible solution, rooted in what he calls neuroassociative conditioning, or NAC.
NRC. Okay, what's that?
This isn't just about wishing for change, it's about consciously rewiring our brains at a fundamental level. He states that We must link unbearable and immediate sensations of pain to our old behavior,
Pain to the old habit.
and incredible and immediate sensations of pleasure to our new behavior.
Pleasure to the new one. Okay, break that down.
Let's take an example. Imagine you have a habit of interrupting people, perhaps out of excitement or impatience, but you know it's perceived as unkind.
Okay, yeah, interrupting.
To apply NSC, you would first consciously interrupt the pattern. The moment you feel the urge to interrupt, you would vividly associate that old behavior with an unbearable, immediate sensation of pain.
Like what?
Maybe you picture the person recoiling, feel a flush of shame, or imagine losing a valuable connection because of it. You make that old behavior instantly undesirable in your mind.
Got it. Make it feel bad, quickly.
Right. Simultaneously, you would create an incredible, immediate sensation of pleasure for the new, desired behavior, in this case, active listening.
So what would that look like?
You'd vividly imagine yourself listening intently, seeing the other person light up with appreciation, feeling the deep satisfaction of truly understanding them, the calm of genuine connection. You link intense good feelings to the new habit.
Ah, so it's actively creating strong emotional associations.
Exactly. It's about consciously interrupting the old neural pathway and creating a powerful new one by associating extreme emotion, pain, and pleasure with specific actions.
That provides a tangible, almost neurological approach to self-correction.
Yes, offering a direct path to consciously choose more positive, kind behaviors, moving away from those deeply grooved, unkind habits.
That makes so much sense. It shows that it's not just about grand transformative moments, but that even small, consistent actions, deliberately chosen, can literally rewire us towards a kinder disposition.
Absolutely. Small steps, big changes over time.
Zig Ziglar reinforces this with very practical advice, and see you at the top. You can literally force yourself to be courteous, happy, and enthusiastic with every person you meet.
Force yourself.
Well, he continues, after you have forced yourself to be so for a short period of time, the habit takes over. He's saying, don't wait to feel it, act as if, and the feeling will follow. Build the habit through action.
Fake it till you make it, in a sense, but for building positive habits.
Sort of, yeah. And he offers a fascinating psychological insight about an even simpler, yet profoundly powerful act. We don't smile because we're happy because we smile.
Ah, the facial feedback hypothesis.
Right. This connects a simple outward act, a genuine smile, to an internal shift towards positivity and a more welcoming, kinder demeanor.
It's a conscious choice that can literally alter our internal state.
Consequently, our interactions creating a positive feedback loop for kindness.
This is a truly crucial point because it challenges the common misconception that kindness or positivity must always originate from an internal feeling before it can be expressed.
You don't have to feel it first.
Sometimes the action itself, consistently and deliberately practiced, generates the feeling. The neurological feedback loop of smiling, for instance, where the physical act sends signals to the brain that can genuinely alter mood and perception, is a perfect example.
So it's a proactive approach.
Exactly. This proactive approach to habit building empowers individuals. It provides a concrete method for cultivating the very qualities that define a kinder, more approachable character, regardless of your initial emotional state. It fundamentally shifts the emphasis from waiting to feel kind to actively practicing kindness until it becomes second nature.
Until those invisible threads become strong, positive cables that support deeper connections. Okay, so moving beyond self-reflection and the power of habit, how do we then apply kindness and understanding in our daily interactions with others?
Yeah, the outward focus now.
Often it starts with a surprisingly simple, yet profoundly impactful act. Truly listening to others.
Listening. Seems basic, but it's rare.
Dale Carnegie, in How to Win Friends and Influence People, provides a wonderfully compelling example. He recounts attending a dinner party where he spent hours talking to a botanist.
Okay.
Carnegie later described the botanist, calling him most stimulating and a most interesting conversationalist, despite Carnegie having said hardly anything at all.
Huh. So how did that happen?
His secret? He listened intently because he was genuinely interested.
Genuine interest, that's the key.
Carnegie emphasizes how this active, empathetic listening is one of the highest compliments we can pay anyone. Think about it. When someone truly listens to you, without interruption, without judging, with genuine curiosity, they are implicitly saying, you matter, your thoughts matter, I value you.
It's an act of deep validation and respect.
Absolutely. And it's a core component of kindness and genuine connection. Few can resist it.
And this deep, attentive listening isn't just about pleasantries or making a good impression in social settings, right? It has practical applications too.
Huge practical applications. It can profoundly impact even challenging situations, de-escalating conflict and transforming interactions, especially in professional contexts.
Like business.
Carnegie provides another powerful anecdote, this time from the Detmer Woolen Company. A customer, furious about a bill, traveled all the way to Chicago just to express his anger and declare he'd never buy from them again.
Wow, that's an angry customer.
Very. The company manager, instead of arguing or defending, chose a radically different approach. He listened patiently to all he had to say.
Just listened.
Yep. He said, "I was tempted to interrupt, but I realized that would be bad policy. So I let him talk himself out." For over an hour, the manager simply absorbed the customer's rage.
That takes incredible restraint.
It does. Only after the customer finally simmered down and got in a receptive mood did the manager respond. He calmly acknowledged the customer's feelings, thanked him for coming all that way to provide such important feedback, and offered to personally look into and improve their credit department.
And the result?
This act of profound understanding, validation, and a commitment to improvement didn't just pacify the customer. It transformed hostility into a renewed, loyal business relationship. It proved profoundly kind and immensely effective. It shows that by prioritizing the other person's need to be heard, you can bridge vast divides.
So it's not just what you eventually say, but the entire environment you create where the other person feels heard, respected, and truly understood.
Exactly. That's a subtle but incredibly powerful form of kindness in action.
Exactly. This is the art of what we might call other-oriented communication, where the focus shifts from your own agenda to the perspective and needs of the other person.
Other-oriented. I like that.
Carnegie highlights further examples of this. Take Barbara L. Anderson, who was seeking a new job during the Depression. Instead of writing letters stating what she wanted a job, she wrote in the letter how she could help them and focused on their wants, not her own.
Focused on their needs.
Yes. She detailed how her skills and experience could benefit their banks. The result: she received 11 interview invitations from 12 banks.
Wow, that's effective.
Immensely. Similarly, a Mr. Chalif secured significant funding for the Boy Scouts. Instead of immediately pitching his cause, he first engaged a potential executive on his interests, talking about the executive's personal passions.
Built rapport first.
Exactly. Only much later, after building genuine rapport, did the executive eventually ask, "Oh, by the way, what was it you wanted to see me about?"
Huh. He basically invited the pitch.
Pretty much. These are powerful demonstrations of indirect kindness through prioritizing the other person's perspective, wants, and needs. This raises an important question. Why does this approach work so powerfully at a deeper, almost subconscious level?
This is where science and psychology truly begin to back up these principles of human connection and understanding. It's not just about being polite. It's about understanding how humans are fundamentally wired to respond.
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Simon Sinek's "Start with Why" concept offers profound insight into human decision-making and loyalty, which underpins the effectiveness of this other-oriented kindness.
Sinek's why. Explain that connection.
Sinek explains that decisions are often made in the limbic, feeling part of the brain, which he metaphorically calls the heart, before being rationalized by the language center, or the mind, the neocortex.
Heart versus mind, essentially.
In a way. The limbic brain is responsible for feelings, trust, and loyalty, but it has no capacity for language. To truly inspire or persuade, and by extension, to practice deep kindness and build genuine connection, you must start with why, communicate your purpose, cause, or belief.
Appeal to the feeling part.
Exactly. You appeal to that emotional core, to people's values, rather than just the rational surface of facts and figures.
Like the Apple example he uses.
Precisely. Companies like Apple, Sinek explains, succeed not just because they make great computers, but because they clearly communicate why they do what they do, their belief in challenging the status quo, empowering dreamers and individuals.
So people buy the why, not just the what.
Exactly. This creates a powerful loyalty that transcends mere product features or price, because customers connect on a deeper, value-based level. This principle applies equally to individual relationships. When we communicate from a place of genuine belief and understanding of another's why, we forge far stronger, kinder bonds.
It's about speaking to the heart of another person's motivations and values.
Creating resonance rather than just delivering information.
And Tony Robbins offers specific tools for understanding these underlying motivations and building rapport in others, taking these abstract ideas into very practical, actionable steps for everyday interaction.
Yes, Robbins elaborates on what he calls key metaprograms in Unlimited Power. These are essentially unconscious filters, patterns, or mental programs through which people perceive, organize, and interpret the world around them.
Filters we all use.
Unconsciously, yes. Understanding these can profoundly enhance our ability to communicate with kindness, influence, and effectiveness because you're literally speaking to how someone is wired.
Okay, give us an example.
For instance, consider the toward versus away from metaprogram. Some individuals are primarily motivated toward pleasure. They are driven by seeking positive outcomes, opportunities, and gains.
Goal seekers.
Right. Others are primarily motivated away from pain. They are driven by avoiding negative consequences, problems, and losses.
Problem avoiders.
Kind of. Think about how you'd motivate a team member. For the toward pleasure individual, you'd frame a new project around the exciting growth opportunities, the recognition, the innovation it brings. You'd say, this project will unlock incredible potential.
Focus on the upside.
Exactly. For an away from pain individual, you'd focus on how it will help avoid future inefficiencies, mitigate risks, or prevent old problems from resurfacing. You'd say, this project will streamline processes and eliminate those recurring headaches we've been facing.
Focus on preventing the downside.
You're literally speaking to their core motivational drivers, which is a powerful form of cognitive kindness, respecting their individual wiring and making your communication land effectively.
That's fascinating. What's another one?
Another crucial metaprogram is the internal versus external frame of reference. Some individuals rely primarily on external validation, praise, recognition, others' opinions to feel good about their performance. They need that feedback from outside.
They need the applause.
In a way, others trust their internal sense of achievement far more. Their satisfaction comes from meeting their own standards regardless of what others say.
They know when they've done well, intrinsically.
Right. Knowing this helps you understand how to genuinely encourage or acknowledge someone in a way that truly resonates. A person with an internal frame might not be swayed by public praise, but would deeply value a quiet, sincere acknowledgement of their personal accomplishment or mastery of a task.
So you tailor the feedback. That's real understanding.
It is. It's about understanding what truly fuels their sense of worth and communicating in a way that respects that.
Any others?
Finally, Robbins discusses pacing and leading in rapport building. This is a subtle yet powerful technique. Practice by observing others and consciously mirroring their gestures, tone of voice, and posture.
Mirroring, like copying them.
Not exactly copying, more like subtly matching or reflecting. Imagine you're talking to someone who speaks slowly, with thoughtful pauses, and uses calm, measured hand gestures. If you rush your words, interrupt, or gesture wildly, you inadvertently create a disconnect.
Okay, you'd feel out of sync.
Right. But if you subtly match their speaking tempo, perhaps even mirroring their posture, slightly leaning in when they lean in, maintaining similar eye contact, it creates an unconscious sense of, we are alike, I understand you.
Like finding the same rhythm.
Exactly. It's like finding the same rhythm in a dance. Suddenly, communication flows effortlessly, building a bridge of trust and comfort. This conscious effort to create connection, to literally walk in their shoes through physical mirroring, is a deliberate act of seeking understanding and building empathy.
Which is a fundamental form of kindness. It signals that you are with them, creating an open channel for deeper connection and mutual respect. So when we pull all these threads together, the enduring call for kindness, the power of self-correction, and the art of deep understanding in our daily interactions, what does this all mean for the bigger picture of our lives?
Yeah, how does it shape the whole narrative?
It moves beyond individual acts of kindness to shaping our entire existence, our life's narrative. How do we live a life that, when all is said and done, is truly defined by something meaningful, something that contributes beyond ourselves?
Well, to illustrate the profound importance of purpose in shaping that narrative, Les Brown, in Live Your Dreams, offers a deeply insightful perspective that redefines what we might consider tragedy.
Okay, what's his take on tragedy?
He states, "It must be borne in mind that the tragedy of life does not lie in the not reaching our goals. The tragedy lies in not having any goals to reach."
Wow. The tragedy is having no goals at all.
That's what he argues. He continues, "It isn't a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It is not a disaster to be unable to capture your ideals, but it is a disaster to have no ideals to capture."
So aiming high and missing is better than not aiming at all.
Precisely. It is not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but is a disgrace to have no stars to reach. This is a powerful reframing, isn't it? It emphasizes that the ultimate failure isn't in falling short of an ambition, but in lacking the ambition itself, in failing to aim high for something larger than ourselves.
It's about the void of purpose, not the pain of not quite getting there. Building on this, Brown offers crucial advice for goal setting. Your goals should go beyond your own material needs.
Beyond just what I need.
Yes, they should be goals that serve your purpose while meeting a larger need in the world. This unequivocally connects personal aspiration to broader contribution, suggesting that true purpose is inherently outward-looking, tied to making a positive difference for others, rather than solely for personal gain.
It moves us from a purely transactional view of life to one centered on impact and shared humanity.
This idea of a life well lived isn't just about personal aspiration or what we acquire. It's profoundly about the lasting impact we have, what we leave behind, what we contribute.
The legacy piece.
It's about building a legacy of kindness, not just personal accomplishments or financial success.
To really drive this point home, Brown poses a poignant and challenging question that forces deep introspection. If you died tomorrow, are there 3 things that your eulogists could say you did to make the world a better place for your having lived in it?
Oof, that's a tough question. 3 things.
It is, and he follows up. What cause can you take on? Who can you offer a hand to? This directly links purpose to altruistic action and kindness, framing a legacy around meaningful contribution.
It forces you to evaluate your life through the lens of impact on others.
Exactly. Rather than purely personal gain. It encourages us to think about how our kindness, our understanding, and our empathy can manifest in concrete ways that genuinely improve the lives of those around us, and even those we may never meet.
And it's not necessarily about huge, world-changing things either, right?
Not at all. It's not about grand gestures every day, but consistent, intentional acts. Perhaps it's volunteering, mentoring, advocating for a cause, or simply being the person who consistently offers a listening ear or a helping hand in your community or workplace. Small ripples.
But how do we know we're on the right path? How do we ensure our actions are truly aligned with this vision of contribution and kindness, rather than just drifting aimlessly or being swayed by external pressures?
That's where values come in.
It comes down to our deepest convictions, our values.
Tony Robbins introduces this concept as the master key in unlimited power. Values are the ultimate key to understanding and predicting your own behaviors, as well as the behaviors of others. The master key to unleashing the magic within.
The master key. So values drive behavior.
They do. He explains the critical consequence of ignoring this internal compass. You can have $1 billion, but if your life conflicts with your values, you won't be happy.
Money can't buy happiness if you're violating your own principles.
Exactly. This powerfully underscores that our values are the bedrock of our decision-making, influencing how we interact, what we prioritize, and ultimately the kind of impact we have. If our actions are out of sync with our deepest beliefs about what is good and right, say, if one values integrity but acts dishonestly, or values connection but consistently puts others down, then even external success will feel hollow and unfulfilling.
So a life of kindness, then, is one lived in deep alignment with values that prioritize compassion, understanding, service,
and genuine contribution to the well-being of others. It's about building a life from the inside out, based on what you truly hold dear.
And this isn't a final destination, is it? It implies that living a life of kindness and purpose is an ongoing practice, a continuous journey of growth and refinement, not a one-time achievement we can tick off a list.
Exactly right. Robbins reinforces this definition of success from unlimited power. Success is defined as an ongoing process of growth across various dimensions, emotional, social, spiritual, etc., not a final destination.
Success is a process.
Yes. This provides a dynamic framework for continuous self-improvement and contribution, where kindness isn't a static trait, but an ongoing practice, a skill to be honed and expanded throughout life.
So stumbling is okay, as long as we keep striving.
It means that even if we stumble or have moments of regret like Carnegie's father, the journey itself is the success, provided we continue to strive for growth, to reflect, and to apply these principles. It's about consistently stretching our capacity for empathy and positive impact.
Part of that journey, that ongoing growth, absolutely involves understanding ourselves deeply, our own personal history and motivations.
Crucial.
Because how can we truly be consistently kind and understanding to others if we don't first understand the forces that shape our own thoughts, reactions, and ingrained patterns?
You have to know your own landscape first. Les Brown, in Live Your Dreams, really expands on this crucial concept with self-knowledge sets you free.
Okay, what does he say about self-knowledge?
He laments that Too many of us understand the forces of American or European history, but not the forces behind our own personal histories.
That's a great point. We study external history, but not our own internal history.
Right. He continues, a sense of self-knowledge grows out of contemplation and reflection, of questioning yourself and welcoming feedback from others.
Reflection and feedback. Key tools.
And the payoff. By knowing yourself, you can free yourself to grow beyond your past experiences. This is profound. If you don't understand why you react in certain unkind or defensive ways, or why you struggle with empathy in specific situations, you can't consciously choose a different, more constructive path.
Our past can trap us in patterns of unkindness if we don't examine it.
Absolutely. Our personal histories, our past hurts, our limiting beliefs, these can all become unconscious drivers of unkindness if left unexamined. Self-awareness, gained through contemplation and honest feedback, allows us to break free from those past negative patterns and instead live for grand possibilities, which explicitly includes a greater capacity for kindness, empathy, and positive impact.
It's about unearthing those invisible threads that Orison Swett Marden spoke about.
Understanding their origins, and then consciously choosing to reweave them into a stronger, kinder cable that serves your highest values.
Ultimately, then, having a clear why or purpose is what truly drives authentic action and lasting impact, ensuring our kindness is directed, powerful, and truly meaningful, not just a series of random, well-intentioned, but perhaps unfocused acts.
To circle back to this crucial point, Simon Sinek, in Start With Why, emphasizes that when the WHY is absent, imbalance is produced and manipulations thrive.
Without a why, we're adrift.
Exactly. When we don't have a clear purpose, we become susceptible to external pressures, to doing things for approval, or simply reacting to circumstances. Conversely, when a company clearly communicates their WHY, what they believe, they represent something to which we want to belong.
We're drawn to purpose.
Yes. Applied to individuals, a clear personal why fosters integrity, genuine connection, and purposeful action, rather than superficial attempts to gain approval or chase fleeting trends. It's your internal compass, your core belief, that gives direction to all your actions.
Like the Apple example again.
Consider Apple's success once more. It's a company with a purpose to give the individual the power to stand up to established power, to empower the dreamers and the idealists to challenge the status quo. Their products are merely the how they achieve this powerful why.
The products serve the purpose.
Right. For us as individuals, our acts of kindness, our moments of understanding, our contributions become the tangible proof of our personal why, our deepest purpose and belief. It's this well-articulated, deeply felt purpose that empowers us to live lives truly measured by the positive difference we make, allowing our kindness to resonate and create a ripple effect in the world. #Chagga Santro.
Okay, let's bring this all together. Today, we've embarked on a fascinating deep dive, exploring the profound, enduring call for kindness, from Vonnegut's blunt imperative to Quintilian's ancient wisdom.
Quite a journey.
We've also confronted the deep emotional weight of unkindness and regret, using Carnegie's poignant anecdote as, well, a mirror for our own lives.
The powerful mirror.
Crucially, we've uncovered the incredible power of self-correction and understanding through the habit-breaking strategies of Robbins and the insights of Ziglar, and learned how to apply these in our daily interactions through the empathetic listening championed by Carnegie and the other-oriented communication explored by Sinek.
Lots of practical tools there.
Absolutely. Ultimately, we've seen how defining our purpose and living by our core values can truly shape a meaningful life, a life far beyond mere achievements or external accolades.
It's about the substance beneath the surface.
It really is. It's about being deliberate, empathetic, and consistently striving for growth in our capacity for goodness, in our contribution to the world.
Which truly raises an important question for you, our listener, to take with you, something profound to mull over and integrate into your own reflective practice.
Okay, what should we leave them with?
Considering all the wisdom we've unearthed today, from Vonnegut's clear command to be kind, to Carnegie's insights on empathetic listening and understanding others' wants, Les Brown's vision for a life of purpose that extends far beyond material needs, and Robbins's frameworks for conscious self-improvement, what would your life truly look like? How might it shift if its ultimate measure was not merely the accumulation of success or accolades, but the consistent, deliberate expansion of kindness, understanding, and meaningful contribution you bring to the world every single day?
That's a deep one.
How might that reframe your priorities, influence your daily choices, and shape your long-term aspirations for impact? Something to really sit with.
A powerful thought indeed, and one that encourages real introspection and action. As our sources like Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar remind us, it's not just about acquiring knowledge, is it?
No, knowledge isn't enough.
It's about consistent action and persistence in applying that knowledge. The journey towards a life truly measured by kindness and profound contribution starts with a single step, a single conscious choice, a single act of understanding.
One step at a time.
We deeply encourage you to reflect on these insights, to carry that question with you, and to begin to apply them in your own life, moment by moment. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and above all, keep growing in kindness.